I'm about to head to a networking event, which is a fairly common practice for people who are looking for a job. And if you've never gone to a networking event, I would encourage you to try it. Networking events are where groups of people with like interests get together. So for instance, today I'm going to the Baltimore Business Expo, brought to you by a local publication, the Baltimore Business Journal. And they do not charge a fee for people to go, but there are booths and tables. And it's a good chance for business people to get together and talk and get to know each other. And one of the misconceptions is that it's a place where you want to go and just constantly promote yourself. What I do when I go to networking events is I go and I just talk to people. I talk to them about sports. I talk to them about something they might be wearing. I talked to a guy at an event last week about the notebook he had with him. It was a little unusual, and I asked about that. And we started talking about that. And I didn't talk to him about business. I didn't talk to him about jobs. I didn't talk to him about anything related to anything like work. What I wanted to do was build a rapport with him, and then I wanted to set up a coffee with him so we could talk over coffee. Because at these networking events, one of the great things is you get to see a lot of people, contact a lot of people, but it's really hard to get into a real discussion. It's loud, there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of distraction. So I find that's actually better to just have a discussion that sets the stage to having a coffee. So over a cup of coffee, it's just this person and me, and we can talk more fully about what I'm trying to achieve and what they're interested in. So if you go to a networking event, rather than trying to hand your resume to 50 people, which is a fairly common practice, you probably want to go and see if you can find one or two people to talk to that are actually going to help you in some way. They might be people who are going through similar circumstances, and you can learn from each other, maybe share best practices or ideas for who to talk to. Or it could be maybe finding a mentor, or maybe it's just finding a company that might interest you, even if they don't have a job. You'd be amazed how many times people make contacts at networking events, and it turns out to lead to a job 2, 3, 5, 7, even 10 years later. It might be someone that you get to know and you start to have a relationship with in terms of business, sharing ideas, and next thing you know, that person becomes a really important advisor, and they may not have a job for you, but one of their competitors might, and they might put you in the right direction, or they might refer you to someone and say, I know this person, they're really a good person, you've got to talk to this person. So the value of networking, most people think of networking as just going and getting information and getting in front of people. And while that's part of it, I try to make sure that I do the hard work of networking one-on-one, at a coffee, over lunch, some way that I can make sure that the focus is on me and on that person, because a networking event, like I said, is just way too much distraction, way too much noise. And if I get a chance later today, I will actually shoot a little video from this networking event so you can see what I mean. But for now, I would challenge you to think about how can you use a networking event? How do you find a networking event? I'll talk to you about that in the coming days. But right now, think about the idea of networking. What does networking mean? And how can you use networking to advance what you're trying to achieve? Because if you are trying to get a job in the supply chain and there's a supply chain association that's having a networking event, it might be worth going to that event to talk to people, to find out what the issues are, to make some contacts in that field, to figure out how you can get into that area. You never know what will come from networking. But I set a really low bar. My goal today, I'll take 3 business cards in with me, not 300, and I will hope to talk to 1, 2, or maybe 3 people that can change things for my business in some profound way. It's not about talking to 100 people. It's about 1, 2, or 3 that might make a real difference. So as you think about networking, or if you've never thought about networking, this is some ideas to start thinking about. Have a great day and have a great weekend. And hopefully later today, you'll see a second video that sort of captures the essence of networking.